All right, and good evening, Northwest Arkansas, the Arkansas River Valley, Northeast Oklahoma, and Southwest Missouri. Here's a look at what we got in terms of your forecast for tonight and tomorrow. We got some things to talk about. The extended pattern, I decided to dive a little bit deeper into that, so stick around for more details on that. But also, we're talking maybe some additional rain chances here coming up. So overnight tonight and to tomorrow morning, we've got lows anywhere from the lower down to maybe the upper 60s. It really just depends on the location. As you can see, Southwest Missouri starting a little bit on the cooler side. Same with parts of eastern Oklahoma in the lower to mid 60s. And then the River Valley, a little bit warmer into the upper 60s across the area. So kind of the same old that we've seen. Now, there is going to be a little bit of a difference for parts of the area. There may be some rain chances on the way. We'll walk you through that with Future Scan Radar. Here's a look at tomorrow afternoon. It's going to be a little bit of a change as well. Now, it's still warm. Southwest Missouri is a little bit warmer than it has been over the last several days. It's going to be similar to yesterday. We're talking right around the lower 80s. A couple degrees cooler in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And then kind of the normal range that we've seen the last couple of days for eastern Oklahoma. So Stillwater, Tulsa, Barnsdall, lower 80s. River Valley, right around the lower to close to mid 80s. Southwest Missouri, Northwest Arkansas, lower 80s as well. Here's a look at some things that we've got. No organized severe weather for the overnight, but there could be a couple of storms that may be a little bit on the louder side. We're not expecting widespread rain, but some of this activity, it may produce maybe some lightning, maybe some brief gusty winds, but we're not talking organized severe weather. The other thing too, those rain chances that I mentioned. Now, parts of the area, it's going to be into the expected category for tonight into tomorrow morning. That doesn't guarantee rain for everyone, but that just means got some pretty good rain chances on the way. Still into the medium to high range for parts of eastern Oklahoma, and then into southwest Missouri, pretty good rain chances there as well. We'll show you the simulated radar here in just a second. Here's a look at those rain totals. And we've been talking about this. Not everyone's going to see rain or necessarily heavy rainfall either, but there could be a couple areas where the activity either doesn't move very quickly or you get some training activity. All that means is one community sees, one round of rainfall and then there's a lot behind it and it just goes over the same area over and over again. We could see that for parts of the area tonight into tomorrow morning. Not everyone's going to see that necessarily, but like we said, it's something to keep an eye on out. So that's that. Here's a look at your morning fog outlook for tomorrow. There could be some patchy fog for parts of the area, mostly in the I-49 corridor, parts of I-40, mostly to the north of I-40 and along I-49. This is brought to you by our sponsor, Foghorns, and that is an Arkansas original since 2004. So that's a look at your morning fog outlook. We're not expecting widespread dense fog like we saw over the last couple of mornings, but still could be a couple pockets of maybe some reduced visibility, especially if there's no rain ongoing as we head into tomorrow morning, but not everyone's going to see that activity. Here's a look at Future Scan Radar. And as we head into later tonight, here's around midnight or so, notice there's just a couple scattered showers and thunderstorms. This continues into the morning commute tomorrow, maybe a couple pop-up showers and thunderstorms as well. Again, we're not talking widespread activity until we get to tomorrow afternoon for the evening commute between Tulsa, Northwest Arkansas, River Valley. More scattered showers and thunderstorms develop. I think it's going to be greater coverage further to the east and mostly our Arkansas and Southwest Missouri counties, far eastern Oklahoma counties as well. Rain activity will continue as we head into early overnight tomorrow as well. So that's a look at what we've got there. Rain chances are back on the way. It's going to be hit or miss tonight into early tomorrow morning. It's not really until we get to tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, we start to see more widespread activity, especially in our Arkansas coverage areas. Now, here's a look at what I was talking about with the extended outlooks. And this is kind of getting into the weeds of the forecast, if you will. So I mentioned we have a blocking pattern that's coming up, maybe some warmer and some drier weather. Well, according to the Climate Prediction Center, and they do a pretty good job with these extended outlooks, this and the next one I'm going to show you are for days 6 to 10. This is into early June. And you can see we're in the below average category for temperatures. Now, there is going to be a ridging pattern or a blocking pattern, whichever you want to call it, on the way. And it is going to bring uncomfortably warm temperatures to some part of the country. It's not going to be us, though. It's going to be further to the west and to the north. And we'll show you what that looks like here with the winds aloft here in just a second. But when you see this, I've mentioned this over the last several months, when you see these blues, it doesn't mean winter weather. It doesn't mean, overly cold temperatures. we're not going to go from the upper 80s into the lower 40s. Doesn't mean that. It just means that this time of year, we're typically in the 80s in Northwest Arkansas, Oklahoma, and then parts of Southwest Missouri, 80s, upper 70s. So depending on your normal temperature for this time of year, let's just say if your normal temperature is 85 for this time of year, depending on where you're watching from, on average, it's going to be cooler than that, and really just depends. So we're kind of into the slightly above or slightly below, to the moderately below average temperature range there. So that means maybe a 5 to 10 degree difference. It just depends on when and where. Doesn't guarantee it's going to be that cool, but it just means that cooler temperatures are forecasted. Now, the other thing too, the extended precipitation outlook, day 6 to 10 into early June. Notice it's looking a little bit drier. So at least that is still on track. Got some rain chances, on the way. And then maybe a little bit of a break, which would be nice. We needed this rain, but it'd be nice to get a little bit of a break. So if you have cooler temperatures for this time of year and you don't have a whole lot of precipitation, we'll take it. That's a win. So there is some below average precipitation with that extended outlook. Here's a look at what I mean by this blocking pattern, and it bends the jet stream up to the north. And notice how the winds aloft are kind of shifting into this, what we call an omega block pattern. That is going to lead to some drier conditions, and it's probably not going to last long. I've seen some of the forecast details behind the scenes. It sticks around for the maybe first week of June, and then notice as we make our way further into the first week of June, around the 5th or the 6th, that's when we start to see this pattern start to dip back down to the south, and that may mean that there could be maybe a little bit more active weather back on the way for maybe the second week of June. It's way too early to get into those details. As you know, I've mentioned it, maybe 100 million times at this point. Further out you get with any forecast, the less certain it gets as well. Here's a look at Northwest Arkansas' 7-day forecast. We got rain and thunderstorm chances basically between now and Sunday, and then some lower rain chances by Monday, Tuesday. Starting to look like maybe some quieter weather on the way, which would be nice. We need that break. It's been pretty active the last several days across parts of our coverage area. River Valley, same thing. And notice those temperatures really not into the mid 80s. So the good thing is we're not noticing those temperatures spike up once we get into that drier weather. So there's a couple of days that may be on the cooler side based off of the latest outlooks. That's the River Valley. Here's Northeast Oklahoma. And again, we got basically daily rain and thunderstorm chances between now and Sunday. And then some calmer weather by the time we get to Monday, Tuesday, which is well welcomed. We would like that break. And then finally, here's a look at Southwest Missouri's extended 7-day forecast. So if you want to see these forecasts, right at your fingertips, we don't have an app just yet, but we're working on it. Just be patient with us. We'll have that hopefully up and running within the next month or so. It's a lot of stuff to work on behind the scenes. We just got to get things in order. The other thing too, if you want to find these forecast graphics that I just showed you, head on over to weather225.com. I did a couple of things. I made it easier for you to find our streaming on our website. I also made it so that all these forecast graphics that you see, and these forecast updates are at your fingertips. So if you're, on a mobile phone and you're looking up weather225.com, you can find these forecasts. And when you see the forecast box pop up, it's going to animate. It's into our graphic system. All you have to do is tap the screen on either side, and you can advance the graphic or you can go back to the previous one. Or if you're on your computer, just click the corners and it should move on. So this plugs right into our graphic system. You'll get to move and advance the forecasts along with us so you can kind of see all the information that I just showed you. So instead of, wondering, is it going to update? It is going to update. We update these throughout the day. So right at your fingertips, weather225.com. The other thing, if you want to support us, share us with your friends and family. Share these videos and, like, comment, and subscribe or follow, just depending on the location. That's a look at your forecast. Have a good one. And, of course, we'll be back with you tomorrow. If you like our media and forecast, be sure to support us today on Patreon. You can advertise with us this storm season and throughout the year. Contact us today for availability and pricing. Weather225 since 2015.